Yeah, I don't know if this counts, but I definitely came in from an environment, it was a startup environment where it was predominantly working for SaaS companies, right? Software for the sake of software to other software companies. And working for Purolator, that is not the case. There's a very real operational aspect to it, right? Like my mom knows what I do, right? I impact my family members, I impact the general Canadian business community with the success or failure of my projects. And I think that's a unique opportunity when you're working in like logistics and other kind of like on the ground companies and you're supporting those with technology. I think that's different and interesting. And I wish actually more people applied to companies like that because they're all starved for talent. You know, like all these, you think, I don't want to work for Canada Post or I don't want to work for I don't want to give too many examples, but yeah, you think about you want to work for the Squares and the Shopifys of the world, but the real on the ground difference making is being done by some of these older, more established, organizations. And I think it's really cool. My name is Dariusz Grabka. I'm the head of the digital lab at Purolator. Yeah, the digital lab is a relatively new venture at Purolator. Purolator's had a good couple of years. Obviously, we're in the middle of this like logistics shipping boom. New challenges, new opportunities in that boom. Purolator's kind of done well in terms of volume, but then exposed some areas where they're like, yeah, some technology innovation, some process innovation is really important. That's where the digital lab comes in. Over the last 6 months, we've established this new department. It's got about 20 people in it to focus on R&D innovation within Purolator. So introducing new projects or new products, new technologies. Look at the strategic business cases, things where like, oh, it'd be a really good idea if we got into more X. And we're the team that goes in there and it's like, hey, how can this be enabled with technology? Do we need to build a new app? Do we need to partner with somebody? Do we need to buy a new product in order to enable that? So that's what we do at Purolator. I'm a bit of an environmentalist, so Purolator is trying to do a lot of stuff on carbon emission reduction, electrifying their fleet, introducing more EV stuff out in the field, which is really cool. We have a team in Montreal that focuses basically, I would say, exclusively on operational technology like that. On my team, we've been focused a lot on the last mile experience. The last mile meaning the people who actually bring the parcel to your home. The expectations of what that looks like in terms of getting accurate times, in terms of, oh, your parcel is going to be there at 2:45. It's going to be brought by this person, and all that information and all that data is actually quite difficult to crunch to get to something that's consumable by the consumer. And also the driver experience. Like, the drivers are the heroes in this sort of logistics space, and they're working extremely hard, especially right now over the holidays. So they don't get a lot of technology built for them. So we are very much building technology for the drivers right now to make their experience better, so they have more information at hand, so they know your buzzer code if you provided it to the system somewhere, things like that, to improve the experience for both the drivers and the people getting parcels. That's the big stuff. Purolator also has for small, globally, on the global scale, Purolator is a relatively small carrier, but we have a large air fleet. Which is cool because Canada is large, so you need planes to move stuff around. But it's been especially awesome now with what's going on on the West Coast with flooding in British Columbia. Rail networks, highway networks have been disrupted, and Purolator was in a position to pivot a lot of that, start flying planes from like Kelowna and Vancouver to Calgary, and Calgary all of a sudden became this most important point in Canada, where all the parcels that would have come from East Asia are now going through Calgary to get to Ontario and Quebec and further east. So that's been cool. Watching that on the ground and watching the innovation that needs to happen in order to make that happen has been really neat. I live in Kitchener. I'm a KW guy. I came out of the KW tech scene. A lot of people that I work with are that, so we needed a space to call home locally. Now that we're coming out of pandemic, going into a more hybrid model, like places like co-working spaces like Catalyst Commons make a ton of sense. Building large offices downtown, very expensive, while taking advantage of an ecosystem like this is both less expensive, plus also more available, also feels more humane, you know, bumping into people, bumping into other companies, and but you know, taking advantage of that ecosystem has been really, really wonderful. Our experience with the digital lab and commons is a bit of a guinea pig, whether Purolator wants to replicate this model across Canada, and I think all signs point to yes right now. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But me personally, I'm loving it.